It is a full-scale war, and it's bringing with it serious disruption.
And if J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard weren't in the administration, they'd be on that same side. They'd be saying, focus at home. America first is about what's going on here. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard basically left the Democratic Party because of this, saying that Hillary Clinton was going to get us into these useless wars. We heard that in 2024 in the election, too, that Donald Trump is the peace president and Kamala Harris is the one who's going to take us down these routes. She even called it properly. She talked about, what he was going to do to the economy and that he was going to take us into war with Iran.
It has never been more apparent that MAGA is turning on Trump and, well, he's losing it, especially when Fox News are airing the dissatisfaction with Trump over his illegal war in Iran. Many feel that Trump's military campaign against Iran was supposed to rally his base, or as anyone not chugging snake oil could see, offer the perfect distraction. But instead, it has triggered open criticism from within the MAGA movement itself.
He said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling. He doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war, to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promise it on the campaign.
Conservative icons who once formed the core of Trump's media ecosystem, including the likes of Fox News, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly, have publicly questioned and even blasted the president over the Iran strikes, with Carlson himself calling the bombing campaign, quote, absolutely disgusting and evil, before Megyn Kelly expressed deep skepticism about its justification and the human cost.
Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here, and people are going to change their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other. But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious. They're the ones who've been pushing us into this.
But I want to direct you to this clip. When the topic was brought up on Fox News at 5, just listen to how this conflict was discussed.
I certainly haven't seen it yet. I mean, making thoughtful comments about how this is a war that we chose to get involved in when one of our strongest allies pushed us in that direction, I don't think is anything but a factual assessment of what's going on here. And if J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard weren't in the administration, they'd be on that same side. They'd be saying, focus at home. America first is about what's going on here. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard basically left the Democratic Party because of this, saying that Hillary Clinton was going to get us into these useless wars. We heard that in 2024 in the election, too, that Donald Trump is the peace president and Kamala Harris is the one who's going to take us down these routes. She even called it properly. She talked about what he was going to do to the economy and that he was going to take us into war with Iran. If you go back to 2012, Trump is even tweeting about how Obama's poll numbers are so bad, he's going to launch a strike on Libya or Iran. And Stephen Miller also tweeting before the election that because Liz Cheney was Kamala's top advisor, which I don't think is true anyway, Liz wants to invade the whole Middle East. Kamala equals World War III. Trump equals peace. And I know he has the FIFA Peace Prize, and that is a big deal. But I think that committee would not be too happy with what has happened in the last few days.
Jesse, the fact that Democrats were not making any of these arguments at the beginning of the Ukraine conflict makes me think that maybe it's all political on their part.
And here's the important point here, right? These criticisms, they aren't happening in a vacuum. They reflect a broader mood among segments of not only conservative media, but beyond. The American people are vehemently against this, which shows that the president's leadership on national security is no longer aligned with original MAGA priorities or what they were sold when they got for the second time.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. This was our last best chance to strike. We more and more are not wanting to be the policemen of the world. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. She would get us into World War III. They're drafting you to go and fight in some country that I've never heard. We may have casualties. That often happens in war. Sadly, there will likely be more.
It is a full-scale war, and it's bringing with it serious disruption. No surprise, there is high anxiety all around the world. Energy prices have gone straight up. Iranian drones have hit the US Embassy in Saudi Arabia. The State Department is telling Americans in more than a dozen countries, leave. Luxury hotels in the Gulf states have been hit. Qatar has stopped producing nat gas and the price has spiked. The cost of insuring oil tankers is going straight up. Voters, they're getting skittish. 59% disapprove.
And while some will say, I told you so, I take no pride in saying that because there are real life costs to Trump's never-ending attempts to distract from how terrible of a job he's doing. And you know, it's getting to the president when, rather than address these concerns, his public response has been to dismiss critics and attack those who dare disagree with him. In interviews, he insisted that, quote, MAGA loves what I'm doing, positioning himself as the voice of conservative America while brushing aside Carlson and Megyn Kelly by name. He framed their questions as irrelevant to the broader base, asserting that the war is about national security and America's safety, because where have we heard that before? But even the worst conservatives you know, people like Matt Walsh and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they are absolutely freaking out and tearing into this administration because even they can see what this is. And Trump has not provided a coherent, consistent public rationale for the Iran strikes. And administration officials have shifted explanations from nuclear threats, well, I thought that was obliterated, so that doesn't add up, to ballistic missiles, to then biblical theology to justify this war.
None of us here heard about Iran having missile technology that was that advanced, being able to range the United States, or being close to obtaining a nuclear weapon. I mean, the last thing we heard from the president on the nuclear weapon before, this war, as he calls it, was the Iranian nuclear program was obliterated. That means completely eliminated, gone for good. That's what obliterated means. And then on Saturday, this administration started a war on that basis, inconsistent with the document that I think you're responsible for. And now, at least 6 U.S. service members have paid the ultimate price based on this notion that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States, to the homeland, and to our military. And many more are risking their lives right now to eliminate a threat that 6 weeks ago, when you published that document, you didn't really believe existed.
This rift matters, right? Because it's not just a few podcast hosts here. The backlash is reflective of a core strategic frustration within the movement that propelled Trump to power. MAGA's anti-war, non-interventionist strand feels betrayed by yet another Middle East conflict.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others. You're seeing that right now.
Some commentators see the war as echoing the very forever war dynamics that Trump once opposed. I mean, CNN just ran this recent montage, which is damning. Dissatisfaction also isn't confined to fringe voices. It's coming from commentators with broad platforms and credibility among Trump's supporters. And it's showing up in polling. National surveys have found public support for the Iran strikes deeply negative, around 27% in some polls, with opposition cutting sharply into Republican voter sentiment as well. All of which means it isn't just media dissent. It's evidence of eroding base enthusiasm at a politically crucial moment, right, during a midterm year.
Well, the real justification for this, please stand up, Because one moment it's regime change, another moment it's some undefined, unverifiable imminent threat. Another moment it's somebody else is going to start this war, so we need to start it before they do. It is changing by the hour and by the person, depending upon who you talk to. And it's madness. It's madness. We now have multiple countries being hit. This is spreading throughout the region. Gas prices are up. The stock market is plunging. American service members are being killed. We have 50,000 servicemen and women from the United States in this region who are sitting in bunkers, being bombarded with drones and missiles. We don't know, I don't know, sitting here today, whether or not we have the munitions and the capability to protect them in the weeks and months ahead. It is madness, which is exactly why Donald Trump is unfit to be in this position to do this, right? He is trying to project power. He's making decisions without consulting people, making decisions without a plan. Americans, our troops deserve far better than this.
But what is Donald Trump's strategy when the American people are voicing their disdain at yet another war? Well, he's taken to Truth Social, boasting about military strength and claiming that he has, quote, virtually unlimited supplies of weapons and that war could go on for, quote, forever if he wanted. That doesn't sound like a leader articulating a clear endgame, does it? Right now, in the US, the signals are clear. MAGA is no more. And the president's efforts to assert that, quote, MAGA loves what I'm doing are not convincing anybody, let alone skeptical voices who helped build that coalition. In a midterm year where turnout and enthusiasm matter just as much as policy positioning, losing the support of key conservative figures over a foreign war is the kind of dynamic that signals panic.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.